Hello, beautiful people. Yes, we're back. We're back. And boy, do we have topics of contemplation for you to consider today. On this, your weekend, same as any other day, sit at home day, lockdown day, here in the West. Yep. We get to the point where we ask ourselves some interesting questions. Greetings from Sweden, where the sun is shining. Mark Hauschild. Nice, Mark. Morning all, says Camille Turcott. A late evening for some, Camille. Jason Newton, I am your first like. Let's snipe some shit, says Ian Smith. Hello, Swadi. Yep, some good friends. I brought the BMW M Sport t-shirt back due to some popular demand in the comments. Yep, was once a M Sporter. Once were warriors. Once were warriors, but warriors no more. So, what is the topic of this stream that he does put out? Well, some pretty heavy ones to consider. So the minute this whole narrative came out of this, it's a global, it's a pandemic, the end game for me was they're going to want everyone to get a vax. They're going to want everyone for a vax. They're coming, they're going to take a run at it. This is the plan. They want everyone to get a vax, almost certainly. Since that day, I've had various Bill Gates interviews put to me in the last day or two. Because I've been publicizing this opinion and saying, don't take it, don't do it, don't take it, don't do it. And I can tell you that I've seen a number of things, in one including a South African, Trevor Noah, who's very much a soft interviewer, avoiding the hard questions, set him up for kind of non-denial denial. When asked the straight up question, did you have any prior knowledge to this, although in a very roundabout, mealy way, he didn't really properly deny it. He started talking about government response to this and how time was wasted and all of this, and big, long, mealy-mouthed academic type response. And I have to say, if you study the art of deception, the simple thing to do when asked a question, because Noah said, all these conspiracy theories are now out there, that either you're behind it, you created it, or that you had prior knowledge of it, which was the kind of question he was supposed to be asking. And Gates went into a sort of lengthy response, and is in, well, we didn't, we set out to try get governments to think about how they would respond to this potential threat that we could see as a threat was coming, and they needed to use the time. And, we didn't really get that particularly well done, although some countries did some things. And as you can see, we are where we are now because of this. The answer is, I had no prior knowledge of this event. No. That's it. And silence. The minute you get a long story, so when you study deception, and there's a great guy that does deception courses, I think he was Wyatt. I just need studying deception. I really need to get this to you, because I went through a whole bunch of the typical things deceivers do. Because actually, even for people who have ill intent towards a large group of people, they can't help but wanting to stay close to the truth. And I need to find this guy, and I'm going to post the link in it. And he actually does a course. I bought his book, and he is really, really good. And I'll recognize his name as soon as I do it. Deception. Damn, suddenly Google don't work no more when it comes to finding this guy. It was Wyatt or Hyatt. Let me just put his name in there. And I'll see if it comes up. Hyatt Analysis Services. If you wish to study, there we go. I found the link. I'm going to put it in the comments. Now, one of the key things is with Hyatt Analysis Services is that he points out that people give long-winded answers when a simple yes or no would do. Certain things are binary. Are you behind it, or did you have prior knowledge? No, I am not behind it. No, I had no prior knowledge. Or no to both. End of answer to the question. The need to embellish is actually someone who's narrating. And whenever someone gets into narrating, you'll think, I know somebody who does a YouTube live stream who does a whole bunch of narrating. I get all these responses wanting a more bulleted type style. Well, actually, I don't know what I'm going to say in the next second. I have ideas of concepts and then I talk conceptually. That's why you don't get bullets. But when people are being asked an accusation to clear up a potential accusation, they should be able to say, did you kill that woman? No, I did not. Full stop, silence. And the questioner will often wait, and there's this pregnant silence, so that there's this awkward silence. And the person who's made the denial should be comfortable to sit out that silence and not feel the need to fill the void with narrative. It's quite simple. You've been asked whether you killed somebody. No, you didn't. Any more questions? Or can I go? That's it. That's how it works. Anyway, so very unconvincing in my assessment of things, but then, I'm a nut. Okay. But anyway, without a shadow of a doubt, he was ruling out almost the ability to attend mass congregation type events. That means I can't go watch the Springboks play rugby in a stadium without people proving that they are vaccinated, including digital certificates. So you might have attended your last rock concert, all of you right here. And in the subject matter of this YouTube live stream, I said the whole world's journey in terms of how the control structure of managing the flock pivoted massively with this escalation of the plan and the introduction of the pandemic. And those who don't recognize it, you're not going back to the same world you were in before this nonsense came. Apart from the economic absolute nightmare and shitstorm that is coming. So some of you might say, well, you're not making very good news. This is prime grade Francis doomsday porn. No, we'll get to mindset. We'll get to Stoicism, which is also in the topic of this media stream. We'll get to the fact that it is suicide season coming. The economic suicide season is coming. So in the Great Depression years, tens of thousands, mostly men, committed suicide. And in the 2007, 8, and 9 period particularly, although it rolled into 2010 as well, many men, particularly affects men, but God bless our ladies and women as well. I'm not a genderist, but this is a male affliction, and it is a male, predominantly male audience. And for my females, I'm very glad to have you, but stay strong mentally. But the women are kind of adaptive, and they go along to get along. The men they seek, and they have no further purpose, and they top themselves because their failure to earn. We are still there in the masculine. Your primary worth is in your ability to earn. Your primary worth is determined by your ability to bring home the bacon for the family. And when you cease to be able to do that, and you're sitting at home and you're battling to get ahead, and there's domestics and people are tense and the financial bugbear is biting, and it's kind of your department and nothing's happening. And yes, you've got the excuse of the pandemic and the macroeconomic smackdown that these debt proliferators have created. At the end of the day, you're the leader and the warrior and the earner who's supposed to bring back the caribou carcass through the frickin' door so that everybody gets to eat steak, and you aren't doing it. And you either fulfill your purpose or you are perceived to have no worth. And in this highly aggressive feminism that is out there, this neo-feminism that is aggressive, it's kind of like step aside or die type mentality, where men and men's roles have no role. And in fact, part of this future plan that I see would more likely have a disproportionate amount of women as squaws, mother Indians, and runners than independent, aggressive, critical thinking men that say, no way, I will not comply. So in this new world society, it's not going to be friendly for men, and this economic system is going to render many of you to feel useless. Knowing in advance doesn't depress you. It brings forward that possible option and gets you mentally preparing yourself for this is the disease that will come into my mind's eye and undermine my sense of worth during this period. And I am forewarned by the guru in the BMW t-shirt. Now, I'm not a guru and it's only a motorsport t-shirt. But by being forewarned, I am prepared and I recognize it. I identify that emotion. I package it up and I do a slam dunk in the bin. And I say, handled. I am who I am. I have a right to life. I have a right to existence, whether I generate binary digits in fake banking computers or not, whether I generate tokens and vouchers of proliferated pieces of paper or not. I am a viable, legitimate human being who's entitled to a full and natural experience, regardless of his ability to deal with macro events that have been created multi-generationally and are accelerating in the great quickening. That is another segment of a rather long-winded title. It's me, so it's going to be long-winded. But all these are key phrases and words of what is actually happening now. There is an absolute acceleration and an aggressiveness about what is being brought about to an unheralded level. The ratchet has been turned 3 revolutions. You thought your tie was tight on your neck now. Well, it's gone from being a tie to a slave girdle that is extremely tight and has turned to metal. That is my take of this acceleration and quickening. And you can acknowledge that and say, I see it, I recognize it, there are new rules, and it's going to get really aggressive, and this is a polarizing event. Further to which, I expect in due course the vaccine to be announced at some point. We have the final cure. Proven, tested. Rats have danced with great glee after being injected with our poison, following us contaminating them. We've trialed it on humans. Yes, it's all been done. Oh, the FDA has approved. You know, every World Health Organization has grudgingly given its appearance to say a remarkable transformation has occurred in those that are sick and no reoccurrence of any further illness. Hurrah, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-rah, ta-rah, your big pharma have come to work for you, Bill Gates, billions, etc., Johnson & Johnson, etc., medical of this, medical of that, have all come of great fortitude and technology of the control structure is here. And guess what? It's being mass made available. In fact, the printing presses are running right now. Vaccine. Drop, the whole world over, boom, before you can say, boom, chakalak, they're available in your chemist, and you're to take your ID book or passport and receive a stamp in it, or new digital certification, if you plan to travel, will be required. That's at an international standard, and it needs to be on you at all times, including if you happen to be incapacitated, drunk, or in a car, so that if someone's helping you in a car accident, they know immediately. So that thereby means biometrically it needs ingesting under your skin in a traditional standard place. Hey, how about the right hand or the forehead, and off you go. Carry that evidence that you are vaccinated against the great threat, the great new threat that has emerged, not since the Black Plague, apart from these drills that they ran on H1N1, bird flu, Zika, to do early doors subplotting in your brain for one of these days. This is going to be a big one. And ta-da-da-da-da-da-da, surprise, surprise, here comes the big one, 2020. Woohoo, woohoo. How did you know? They've been seeding this event in the combination of drills, a combination of Hollywood films. Your pandemic was planned, and there is an acceleration of this agenda. And what you're going to need to decide now, because let me tell you, if you are in any way right now of slight undecided mind, you will absolutely be going with the vaccination in due course, because the path that the anti-vaxxers choose will be exceedingly rocky, you think you're isolated now, prepare for your isolation. It will be exceedingly lonely. It will be exceedingly awkward, and it will be exceedingly restrictive. And you will be made to look like you've put yourself in a prison by virtue of non-compliance. And if you haven't had this discussion with every core family member, wife, daughter, son, uncle, father, and any other key friend, expect there to be weak members in the clan that need understanding, and recognize that it's a decision that you're probably going to have to make at least at a family level, if not at an extended family level, because the repercussions and the planning and the preparation in time, the noose will tighten on your freedoms for those that refuse to comply in such a manner that your old style of living will almost become unthinkable. You might need other people to go to shops who have taken the mark in to get your groceries. You might rely on them, and they might find you a little bit tiresome after a while. You may need to remunerate them. You may need to live self-reliantly on a piece of land in a far-off land where you can hope to hide for as long as possible before the government comes and checks independently in remote places. That will buy you time. It will not be an easy path. The others that make the decision, initially, it will all be beautiful. There will be no sickness or rejection or anything like that. They'll feel good. They'll feel convenient. They'll have other sorts of very cool, handy records, like their medical records, their banking in their hand for scanning and paying. So cards and cash will not be required. A little scan of the hand, it's all coming, and this tech is being rolled out. It is already ready. It's been waiting in the wings. It's been held back from retail access. Biometric face scanning has been going on already for an extended period. All sorts of other things will be going on. And this is a discussion you need to have, because you will either take their mark and you will decide now not to, or you will eventually, if you haven't made that decision early and written all the reasons why, you will end up as a tagged sheep of the control structure. And let me just say this much. If I was ever in a role where I was looking to lay to rest the entire control structure, it would never be with a rifle or a bullet. It would never be with a gun or a round. Because to shoot one is to make them all alert and to then have all their resources focused on finding the shooter. The way you take a huge amount of people down is you take them from inside out. That means in terms of what you put in their body. And it has a delayed kill switch so that you can put it in everybody's body across the world. The way to kill the control structure is to have delayed capsules of poison, which you have them consume in every meal, in every cup of water, until you have tagged and capsulized every single one of them. And then by remote control, you burst the sealed, safe, secure capsule up. So simultaneously, the poison is released inside all their bodies, and they all drop dead at once. To be a shooter, it's primitive. It's terrible. It's the way you get identified. So the same way you might think, if you're taking down an entire control structure, you have to get your Trojan parasitic. You have to think like them. Your Trojan parasitic takedown inside their system that is just waiting a key trigger point and ignition. So may they conclude the same thing about a population problem that they have created. The fact of the matter is every person standing shoulder to shoulder would fit in a medium-sized state in America, Kansas. There's more chickens on this planet than there are humans. But we are the problem. So overpopulation, look, we could do with less people. We could even survive with more. It is what it is. I don't have a dog in the fight, but I wonder who gets to be God. Who gets to be God and decides who is a sheep to be sheared, shaved, and slaughtered, and who is a shepherd. And I tell you this much, my friends, The telegram ain't coming under your door. Hi, O divine shepherd, join us and our elite ones as we do a mass culling of the overpopulated flock and feast on lamb chops tonight. That telegram ain't coming. Like our friend George Carlin said, it's a tight, nasty little clan and club, and you ain't in it. Yep. So these are concepts, far out concepts, that many of you have not had time to think about, that you should talk to your family. You should talk, because it'll be harder and harder and harder in time not to go for the convenient new way of identifying yourself, securing other people's health as well, if you wish to be in a concert hall surrounded by others. Wouldn't you like to know that there's no one with a contagious disease? It makes mockery of my indebtedness worldview that says in a leper colony, everybody needs to be a leper. In this debt-infested world, there's not one nation that said, we're not doing a debt experiment. We're not getting over-leveraged. We're not having a housing bust where we create money for no reason. Why, I wonder, is there just only one mono view? But there seems there's a central bank, a termite in the brain, a parasite that is within every major nation. But to point this out confirms yourself as a conspiracy nut. To point this out is the territory of lunatics. My time is coming, my friends. They have created a polarizing event. You will go left or you will go right. Vax or no vax. And the pandemic vaccine will be a cure-all with many side benefits, I assure you. You'll probably get a harder erection. You'll probably feel more fertile and energized. It's actually going to be the snake oil salesman. They're going to sell you that pill with the sugar, all the sugar that is required to sweeten the poison that you let enter into your system. Yes, my friend, the world of all the citizenry of the world, I will have to be vaccinated to protect you, you understand. You will have to be vaccinated to protect me. To not do so is irresponsible. Look at this economic hardship this pandemic has brought about. Our immune systems apparently are not able to cope. Our immune systems are not able to cope with a brand and a certain kind of viral flu. You are all now to be vaccinated from dreaded diseases and COVID-19. How our medieval men survived, we know not. But to survive in this future, you must take the injection. And let me remind you, microchips come kind of small nowadays. They travel down a needle, and it is no surprise to have Bill Gates saying the day of mass congregation without digital certified vaccination may well be behind us. Listen to what the great Satan says, for he tells you where he taketh you. Yes, 551 people. That's halfway to 1,000. It would be awesome to get the message to 1,000. Share now. They're on their weekend. They've got nothing better to do. It's time. They need to think about the decisions they're going to have to make. 153 likes. That means about 30% of you think there's something worthwhile discussing here. I thank that 30% for appreciating that fact. Share and share right now through Twitter, retweet to your followers, send to those that must hear. The great quickening is here, my friends. The great quickening is here, and the rules of the game and the multitude of laws that will be associated with those rules will pop up and be passed like confetti in the fire of the economic holocaust that burns through small businesses and lays low. So will the laws and bills pre-packed and prepared for those that merely sign and draft and readeth not, to rubber stamp on their way into the law books that will make the likes of you and I criminals for non-compliance in their great game. Their great game is coming. And this, my friends, is a quickening event. Yes, you have just gone parabolic on control structure. That is a sobering thought. So when I spoke of mindset and I referenced Stoicism and mindset, the era, the economic holocaust will flush out many a person that is weak financially now for their lack of preparation or their lack of fortitude or any other position, some of which well beyond their control. And you will be made to feel worthless and helpless in an environment where there are few that are prepared to help you. Family members will not be able to help you. Do you put your gun to your head? Do you throw yourself in front of a train driver? Do you jump off a high building? I say no. I say no. I say recognize these demons are coming. Write it down. Draw your amazing dream chart of your idealized home, your idealized existence, your best moment with your daughter, your son, your wife, your favorite holiday, and the one you still seek to do. Whether it be walking through the streets of Tokyo, eating real sushi made by real fish, or a week that the World Economic Forum and their strategic plan is so beavering away. I don't know. Live for the day. The Stoic says the following. Sometimes even to live is an act of courage. And I say to you, no greater time than now is it valid. It is an act of courage to wake up and get out of bed. Happiness is actually to be in the moment, to enjoy the present. I think back to sitting a day or two before lockdown, slurping down oysters in a near empty restaurant, overlooking the Indian Ocean on the beach and sea, having a great drink and company, and recognize it's a beautiful moment. You never know if you'll ever have that exact moment again. Be happy in the moments that you have, even if they feel like captivity. Playing chess with your son right now, rolling on the floor with your dog, swapping Corona kisses as he licks your face. Yes, these are the days of your life. Be in the moment. You cannot control everything that is going out there and beyond. Recognize that which you have power over. You have power over, not that which you cannot effect. I cannot change what dastardly statements and plans the Rockefeller Foundation, along with Bill Gates, has. I cannot change that, but I can change my mental disposition towards all that will befall us in this quickening. Live for now, live for today, be in the moment and enjoy it. Yes, luck is what happens, my friends, when preparation meets opportunity. There will be opportunities for luck. I've spoken of the dark side and the difficult conversations, but I will also tell you that right now in the short and near term, there will be opportunities for luck for those that have prepared and even for those that haven't. Some have written in the comments of previous live stream who in the UK wants to get together to work with me, and others have asked for a partnership agreement or syndication agreement for getting together with others that are followers that could purchase property in the great collapse that is coming. Work on this. If you have not your peer group, these people that attend this YouTube could be. There are many a true-hearted man in there, many a truth seeker in there. You could do worse. Meet, greet, swap Corona kisses if you're of the LGBT variety. Otherwise, a handshake, I'm sure, will suffice. And move forward and make new friends. Now is a time of allegiance. Now is a time of action. And you can take action. To take action is to feel good. It is to be in the moment, and it's to no longer be a helpless sail in the billowing storm of the wind, but it is to forge forward through whatever comes. And these, my friend, are the Chinese curse of great interest in our times. Yes. What else does Seneca say? He says of religion, because many of you will be talking of the mark of the beast. Religion is regarded by the common people as true, by the wise as false, and by the rulers as very useful. And by the rulers as very useful. So I wonder if that whole Second Testament was legitimate, transformed, was written by mealy-mouthed men with a plan. Was that New Testament to lead people to be passive and await a giant man on a chariot to come save you after 7 years of tribulation? I think, my friends, there is no savior. There is no savior but yourselves and that which you create with others. There is no chariot. There is no chariot. What you do and what you plan will be what you harvest. The failure to plan will be to submit to other people's plans. And they have a plan for you too. And I'm not sure I like him. Initially, kind of convenient. Like your mobile phone. How easy would it have been to fork and never carry a mobile phone? The online banking, the online trading, the access, the calling your friend, the WhatsApp, the swapping of memes, the swapping of this. But in truth, how much of that is true value and should subordinate person-to-person contact, a brother-to-brother hug around a barbecue or a braai? I would say, as difficult as it would have been, forking away from the phone, forking away from the internet, it's maybe a great wisdom. It would be a lot easier now. You wouldn't be on their grid. You would be unknown apart from a paper passport, maybe issued at birth or a birth certificate. You would be an unknown quantity, unprofiled, probably not having a face, unless you travel, a face biometric. Who knows? Yeah, difficulty strengthen the mind as labor does the body. You will have testing. This is going to be a mindset game. Labor strengthens the body, yes, but this game is going to be a mind fuck. This is where you show your mental strength. The suicidals will not be those weak of body, but weak of mind. Those that have their entire net worth tied up in that which they earn or their ability to earn. Time to unravel it. I was one of those in 07 and 08. I never went so far as to throw myself in front of a train. Maybe some of you wish so. But I can tell you, your worth as a human goes well beyond that. Let's have a look at some of the comments, given that we've had our opening salvo on the quickening, stoicism, mindset, and questions you should already be asking yourself and planning with your family. Only had face biometric taken in the UK, says Dankman. A student of history, conspicuous. Checkmate, says Free Press, 666. Q is Jared Kushner. The 5G is being taken down in the UK now. I'm not so sure UK escapes 5G. He said PHUK. He did. He said Puk. Puk, as in hockey puck. Be a boer. Go back to the farmland, the man says, DMC. Go back to the farmland. A student of history, vegan meat substitutes, very unhealthy, says someone. Space Monkey, will you be buying stocks? Buy stocks. I will trade and build fiat until I can get more metals and crypto. I will hope to secure a home in a new place that is more remote with low policing attention. I will cooperate with friends, maybe buy massive farmland in a very uninhabited part of the world. There's all sorts of things I might or might not do. My hands work and my mind works well, says John Fonseca. Timber Tramp, I paid all my debt, including home, when I was 30. I lived free and clear, sniping opportunities, thought I was alone. Trying for rentals and some ranch land and retirement, says Timber Tramp. Sounds good. Gas Money USA, let the fuckery begin, he says. I think that is F-U-K-E-R-Y. It wouldn't be a swear word by any means. Although I did mark this as not for children, I think, when will the Lehman Brothers moment happen? How long is a piece of string, Mr. Patel? Mr. J. Patel, I suggest to you it's not far off, but it could be 18 months, it could be 1 month, it could be 1 week. This will not be a single year event. The rollout is coming, and great change that is planned is awaiting in the wings. And you should have a skeptic's mind and heart with everything new that is brought and placed in front of you post these pandemic times. Joshua Quinton, do you think this is a wobble and not the real thing yet? The pandemic is the medical shock and awe that causes the crash to the economy that was already crashing, and many things were already going into recession. So they're just forcing it from a normal recession into an outright riot of a rout, full-blown depression, so that bankruptcy and unfettered government interference can almost be waved through in nearly all instances. So the government will be indulging in powers that will make them giddy and high, like heroin and coke addicts. They will be buying and supporting and do-gooding in the name of you and the taxpayer and the employees. The notion of free enterprise that was unsupported and unencumbered by government will disappear. You never had a capitalism. You had a central banking, oligarchically manipulation, fiat proliferating, tertiary extracting, rental slave system. And the notion of free capitalism never existed. Let's build an underground tunnel to Tristan da Cunha, says Devault. Seneca also said, E46 is the greatest car ever. I think so, although he would have gone for the SMG box over the manual. What else did great Seneca say? As is a tale, so is life. It's not how long it is, but how good it is. It is what matters. How good has it been, your life so far? Let me say to you, if you have bucket list items, when this comes down, get ticking and moving. You know not how much longer you will have access to your travel for the bucket list items, the do now items, the dancing with dolphins underwater, the riding the back of the whale shark, the running through the streets of Tokyo buck naked. Whatever you have, get them done. There is no time like the now. Be happy in the moment. And recognize that one of the key things about Stoicism, that worry is actually fear for future events that have not even happened. The anxious mind is the paralyzed mind. Worry for future events that have yet to happen. They may happen. I suspect and fear many of what I'm talking about may happen. But I say to you, do not over worry. Plan, take action, and live. Enjoy, breathe like you breathe for the last time. Swim in the sea like you're swimming in the sea for the last time. Live your life like every moment is precious. If you want a dog, buy a dog now. If you want to, everything you should do, you should be doing it now. Hold on to your youthful enthusiasm. I am still but a man-child. You'll be able to use them better when you're older. Use them now. Use them now. You are older. The time will come. What other things did Seneca say? It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable. Be unconquerable in the mind. They cannot take your mind. They might biologically try soften it, but they cannot take it if you do not allow it. So if a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable. If you do not have a plan or a direction, you will not know what is good for you and how it may serve you. Make plans now to make that investment. Make plans and recognize that worry is to be dispersed. It is fear about the future that you may not even encounter, and it paralyzes rational thought. The one man that I didn't mention yesterday when I spoke of the committee of the mind was Seneca. He is my wisdom, sage avatar of the committee of the mind. Refer always to him, read his books, and recognize the wisdom of old. Begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life. You may only have 500 days left. It's like having 500 lives. Get up and live them to the fullest. What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears. He who is brave is free. The future belongs to the bold. What decision maketh you on the great vaccination decision, the polarizing event that will separate the inhabitants of the planet? No man was ever wise by chance. I love that. Decide to be wise. Read. Forget Netflix. Read. We aren't here to make Netflix and Amazon rich during these times while they murder the small and medium enterprises. Why isn't China's stock market going down? They're in decline since a while, and now even worse. They are supported by a printing press, I expect. The company shares you were probably not allowed to sell. Government won't be selling. They'll print and buy. When they think they're in total control, total destruction will come. Well, you hope, because you're given a book that said so. Maybe what if that book was there to keep you benign and static and waiting for a Messiah of unheralded strength who will with a godly sword whisk all your enemies away? What if it is designed to have you sit and wait for your abattoir moment? Old monk's trick, live like every day is your last. Yo, master, how to make something out of nothing while in department. I'm going for 30 vaccines, world record, before I die. The gods favor those that help themselves. Yes, nobody will accept the nano vaccine and 5G control grid. We will take it down. Well, good, organize, because you will be careful when the troops and the soldiers and the government's armed wing shows up. How few people stand beside you at the point of takedown. Be smart. Don't throw yourself before barrels and weapons. Be cunning. Plants scream when you kill them. That's enlightening. Congress and Senate on VAC underground. Also check volcanic activity and quakes. It has been quite interesting that there have been a fair amount of earthquakes. Yes, I don't know what role that is. Planned, unplanned. Do they have the power? Possibly. Freedom, Mr. Silver, think they made a mistake. They looked us down but left us with the internet. So I think the plan will not go full completion this time. What do you think? Could there be a war to distract us? Indeed, the great four horsemen: civil unrest, riots, bankruptcy, war, pandemic. I think we get them all. BKNG is a great short, Ian Smith says. Get phone signal blocker. Gandhi freed India from the British by making salt the issue. He passed the police attitude check. Well, Gandhi needed to free. Mandela needed to free South Africa. Gandhi needed to free India. There was an agreed plan to roll back the empire. A new empire was on the way. The ebb and flow of the empires have often been planned. Some places are not taking cash anymore. I fear this. We will make it in spirit. Dr. Andrew Kaufman, Humanity is Not a Virus. Have a look at it. Yep, gentlemen, that is it. Stay within your consciousness. Prepare your mindset. Contemplate Stoicism. Read Seneca. Thank you for sharing to get us up to 653. Thank you, 281 of you, for actually enjoying the stream. I'm going to cut it short. If I've said my piece and there's no key moments, I'm going to let you go. I'll maybe visit you tomorrow with new and fresh thoughts. Go Google Seneca. Go Google Stoicism. Feel the wisdom. Embrace it. Determine that that is who you are going to be. Become the actor in your own film where you are brave, stoic, resolute, wise, and a leader, a localized leader amongst men and women, and move forward and plan. And for those of you that wish to be part of our amazing community and to come out fiat, millionaires maybe, who knows, and maybe not. We can't say what the outcomes were. We've done some really great trading. You feel free to book a call on the link below. You know how to do that. For those of you who just want to have a sniff, grab the free links below and have a little watch at that. And for those of you that just enjoy it for what it is, that's also good. Share it with friends. We appreciate that. And I'll come back to you with further thoughts. But do not misunderstand. The summary of this video is the following. There is a quickening of an agenda, in my opinion. I might be wrong. Like anything, I'm often wrong. There is a quickening of the agenda. Key decisions will have to be made early if you are going along with the agenda of the Rockefeller Foundation and all those it funds and all the satellite World Health Organizations, United Nations, etc. List them all, the Kalergi plans, the George Soros, Bill Gates, Henry Kissinger, Tony Blair Foundation, Clinton Foundation, all of this network of foundations, do-gooders that are all working to save us night and day with their vaccine. You will have a decision to make. There is a quickening. You will have a decision to make. Decide now, because if you aren't resolute and you decide not, you will fold under the weight of inconvenience, ostracization. They will make it. They will turn their media guns on those that make that decision. They will make them look like barbarians, idiots, fools, inconvenience, potential contaminators of the others. You are bad. You're not a team player. You are vile. You're to be loathed. You're to be cut back. Your rights are to be reduced. You'll become a second-class citizen. Their media machine will be brutal, relentless, and will ostracize. Are you fit to cope with that? Decide how you will do it if you are making that decision. So there's a quickening. Make your decision on the vaccination thing. Embrace stoicism, mindset, and make rational decisions. Do these people have my interests and my family's interests at heart? If you think that's possibly yes, then avoid all the inconvenience that I am saying will come your way. If for any reason you think maybe not, then decide how strong you intend to be and take your positions and cooperate and get in comms with like-minded others. Otherwise, you will sink like a boat. Prepare for isolation, activities, supplies, anything you might need. And recognize that those that came in underprepared right now are suffering economically. Those that are well positioned are having cash flow, generated business, are having record months, and are trading and making absolute monster amounts. You could be part of this polarizing moment, and you have to decide how prepared you will be. There is time. There's always a little more time than you think. There will be pushback. Laws have to be passed. They always move in snaky, mealy-mouthed ways. It's never direct. You have more time than you think. But be cautious with that time. It is precious time. It is truly precious. Waste not the time that you have left. The day will come where there will be no more sniper broadcasts. Sniper will be taken down. YouTube channel will be taken down. Things will disappear. For being off message, you understand. For peddling dastardly stories of state not having your interests at heart. Okay, love you and leave you. Enjoy your weekends. Embrace your families. Be in the moment while not planning. Enjoy the simple things in life. Time with good friends. I wish us many more. Live each day like it is your last. And on that note, I say goodbye to you all. Blessings to all of you. Play safe out there. A real pivot has just occurred.